Real estate appraisals are truly the foundation of every deal in the property market. They establish the value of a property, which is crucial because it's a number that buyers, sellers, and lenders all need to agree on. Without a clear and agreed upon value, transactions can't move forward smoothly. So, understanding how appraisals work and why they matter is essential for anyone involved in real estate. It's really about creating trust and clarity around the price. An appraisal is essentially a licensed professional's opinion on the market value of a home. This isn't just a guess, it's an evidence based estimate. A neutral appraiser carefully studies the property, looks at recent sales of comparable homes, and uses that information to determine what the home would likely sell for in today's market. This process helps ensure that buyers, sellers, and lenders all have a common understanding of the home's value, making transactions smoother and more transparent. The key takeaway is that an appraisal provides an unbiased and well-informed value benchmark grounded in real market data. Appraisals are crucial because they ensure the price of a property stays grounded in the current market reality. This means that buyers and sellers are not working off inflated or unrealistic expectations. For lenders, appraisals serve as a safeguard against overfinancing, protecting their investment by confirming the property's true worth. Additionally, appraisals provide both buyers and sellers with solid evidence to negotiate from, making the process more transparent and fair. The bottom line is simple. Without agreeing on a reliable value, you can't have a smooth transaction. An appraisal creates a shared number that everyone involved can trust and work from, helping to keep the deal on track. On this slide, we're walking through the appraisal process step by step to see how it all comes together in a clear, market-based way. First, the appraisal is ordered, usually by the lender after the purchase contract is signed. This kicks off the process. Next, the appraiser visits the property, where they take measurements, photos, and note the condition and key features of the home. After that, the appraiser researches comparable sales, recent nearby sales of similar homes, which help establish a solid market value. Then comes the adjustment and reconciliation stage, where differences between the subject property and comparables are carefully weighed to settle on the most accurate and supported value. Finally, the completed appraisal report is delivered to the lender, who uses it to make informed decisions on the loan. Typically, this whole process happens within a few days after the inspection. When appraisers inspect inside of property, they're looking beyond just the square footage. They focus on the overall condition, starting with the structure and layout. This includes assessing the room count, how the rooms flow together, their size, and any signs of damage or deferred maintenance. They also examine major systems like the roof, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and built-in components to ensure everything is functioning properly. Interior finishes are another important factor. Appraisers pay attention to flooring, kitchen, and bathroom updates, the materials used, and the overall quality of these finishes. Condition clues such as cleanliness, wear and tear, needed repairs, and any visible safety concerns all contribute to their evaluation. To support their final opinion of value, appraisers take detailed notes and photos, which helps provide a clear picture of the property's condition and any issues that may affect its value. When appraisers determine the value of a home, they rely heavily on comparable sales, often called comps. These are recent sales of similar homes nearby that provide evidence of market value. The key here is how closely these comps match the subject property in terms of size, condition, and location. For example, a home that's been recently renovated and is close by will give a more accurate picture of value than one that's quite different or farther away. In this slide, you can see several comps listed with their sale prices, square footage, condition, and distance from the property in question. By analyzing multiple comps together, rather than just relying on one, appraisers form a credible and well-supported opinion of value. The takeaway is that the best comps are those that are recent, nearby, and closely match the size and condition of the home being appraised. That combination provides the strongest evidence and helps ensure the appraisal reflects true market conditions. When appraisers determine the value of a property, they rely on a comprehensive toolkit. It's not just a quick walkthrough. They combine careful field observation, market data, and professional judgment to ensure accuracy. Measuring tools like tape measures, laser devices, and sketches are used to verify the size and layout of the property precisely. Valuation software plays a crucial role by organizing observations and analysis through forms, mapping, and reporting tools. Appraisers also access sales databases, including MLS listings, public records, and other market data, to find comparable properties and understand current market trends. Finally, ongoing training, licensing, and adherence to appraisal standards provide a foundation that supports reliable and consistent valuations. It's this combination of real world data and expert judgment that truly supports the value assigned to a property. When appraisers evaluate comparable sales, they don't just average the prices blindly. Instead, they carefully adjust each comparable property to account for differences. For example, if a comparable is older, in weaker condition, or in a less desirable location, they adjust the price upward to reflect those shortcomings. Conversely, if a comparable is newer, in better condition, or situated in a superior location, they adjust the price downward. This process helps normalize the sales so they can be fairly compared. After these adjustments, the appraiser moves on to reconciliation, which means giving the most weight to the most similar and reliable comparables. Think of this as leveling the playing field, ensuring that the final value estimate is based on the best evidence. This thorough approach leads to a more accurate and defensible appraisal. When appraisers determine a property's value, they consider several key factors. First, the location is crucial. It includes a school district, street appeal, access to transportation, and nearby amenities. These elements can significantly enhance or limit a home's value. Next, the condition of the property plays an important role. This covers everything from updates and maintenance to the layout, age, and any visible wear and tear. Buyers often compare homes based on how well they've been maintained and updated. Market trends also influence value. Appraisers look at recent sales in the area, overall buyer demand, the current inventory of homes, and the direction prices are moving. Finally, the neighborhood itself matters a lot. Where the home sits within a neighborhood can either boost its value or place limits on it. Together, the location, condition, market trends, and neighborhood context form the foundation for determining a property's worth. The appraisal report provides a formal summary that covers key aspects of the home, the market, and ultimately the appraiser's opinion of value. First, it includes detailed information about the subject property, such as the address, size, condition, features, site details, and photos, giving a clear picture of what's being evaluated. Then, the report analyzes comparable sales, recent sales of similar homes nearby, to establish a benchmark for market value. Next, it looks at the broader market and neighborhood context, taking into account trends, location factors, and local conditions that might influence the price. After that, the appraiser makes adjustments to account for differences between the subject property and comparables, reconciling those into a final value opinion. The report also contains the appraiser's certification, which includes their signature, credentials, scope of work, and any limiting conditions. The bottom line is that the appraisal report doesn't just give you a number. It explains how that number was derived and supported, offering a comprehensive value snapshot you can rely on. Let's talk about how appraisals impact your home purchase. Appraisals can greatly influence whether the deal moves forward smoothly or if there's some renegotiation needed. There are three common outcomes to an appraisal. First, if the appraisal matches the offer, financing typically stays on track, and the sale moves forward as planned. Second, if the appraisal comes in low, both the buyer and seller need to work together to close the gap or renegotiate the price, which can slow things down. Lastly, if the appraisal exceeds the offer, the buyer usually has a strong deal with instant equity on paper. It's important to remember that the appraisal can change the numbers involved in the deal, but it doesn't change the home itself. The home you want remains the same. To wrap up, let's highlight the key takeaways about appraisals. First, a strong appraisal is essential because it keeps the deal grounded in reality, ensuring that the price reflects the true market value. This protects both lenders and buyers by reducing risks associated with overpaying or lending more than the property is worth. Appraisals rely heavily on objective market data, which means they're based on facts and comparable sales rather than opinions. This objectivity is crucial because it directly affects financing decisions and loan terms, influencing how much money a lender is willing to provide. Lastly, it's important to remember that appraisals are independent assessments, free from bias, aimed solely at determining the property's value. This quick recap reinforces why appraisals are such a critical part of any real estate transaction.